Welcome back to the Messy But Beloved podcast. We are your hosts, Kate
and Leanne. Today we're going to share our testimonies to you guys.
Let's get started with our verse. 1 John 5:10 through 12. He who believes in the Son of God has the testimony in himself. This is the testimony, that God has given us eternal life, and this life is in his Son. So let's start off with a little explanation about what a testimony is. So I found a definition from CAC Surrey Docs.
Good job for sorting your site.
I did. So they say the act of sharing one's personal experiences, encounters, and reflections of God's work in our lives is what a testimony is. And I also have some synonyms in here from Google. Evidence, proof, witness, and I have proof again. Double proof.
So basically, in simple terms, going off of your definition, it's basically your life story and how God has worked through your life and how it's shown, how God saved you, and it doesn't have to be special. I know for me as a kid, or me right now, still, I hear these testimonies my church and stuff when people getting baptized and stuff, and it's this crazy miraculous oh my God, I fell down on my knees and I cried. I don't have any of that.
No,
to be honest,
it's a declaration that your faith is your own, and it's meant to inspire other people around you.
Yeah. So I hope these words that we're gonna just spew out to you is inspiring.
Go ahead, Leanne.
Okay, very sensitive topic, but I just go through everything. Organized chaos.
Go ahead. Me too.
So I grew up in the church, and I honestly didn't think of it much as a kid, my faith. I legit went to church and Sunday school with my parents, and I thought that was my faith. That was what Christianity was. We switched churches when I was about second grade. I don't know how old I was. Second grade. I didn't think of it that much. I don't remember my first day, but I do remember my dad bringing me to the actual service and checking it out. And it was extremely, the place was really foreign to me and extremely different from what I used to. So I went from a really low key church with wooden pews and traditional music, but updated popular Christian music, to loud. It felt like a concert to me. It's still, loud. It still does. We go to the same church, but the atmosphere changed and it was weird for me. But yeah, I don't know. I loved it. It took a couple years, but I got used to the idea, and now I love it. Yeah, I was amazed, and I am amazed and really grateful that my parents took a leap of faith to leave that church that we left, because my dad worked there and he got a new job and whatever. Yeah, and they stepped in the unknown, and I love them for that. And that's where I met, got to know you. Same elementary school, but didn't really know you.
I know.
Looking back, I think that's where the Holy Spirit met me, at that church in third grade. I gave my life to Christ that day, and I don't remember much, but I remember the anxiety going through my head, just spiraling, whether should I raise my hand or not. I feel like I'm compelled to. But I don't really want to because that's really big and I'm in third grade, you know what I mean? Yeah. Nothing happened when I raised my hand. There was no tears, no nothing. Yeah, and I'm not even 100% sure if peace came from me or not, but it was my decision and I made it and it was great. It really wasn't what other people experiences when you hear the testimonies. I'm pretty sure I went home and just went on with my day, to be completely honest. Elementary school was a different story, and I never really had any friends, but I did hang out with one person who I thought was my best friend. Everyone else either didn't like me or I really wasn't close with or didn't know at all, which was, I guess, my choice. And in the summer of fourth grade, my family was camping, and we were eating breakfast. And my mom got a text from my current best friend, my mom's, my best friend's mom at the time. And she was changing from our school to a gifted and talented program from the inside the district that school we go to. And I remember I just crawled on the picnic table and cried. Like, I was like, it's inconsolable, like the rest of like the day or the week or whatever. So yeah, I mean, I'll never forget that it just all kind of went downhill from there, regarding school, I guess, just like friendships. 4th grade was okay. I never had any friends, and it really showed. For me, I don't remember how many friend groups I tried, but the one that I stuck with was the popular girls, and I don't regret it. But looking back at those 2 years, I thought I was a really good friend and that they were too. I can't count how many times, or I realized now that I was like the perfect third wheel. Like, I didn't see it at the time, but like third wheel. I was, if they ever had an argument like between the two of them, I'd be the messenger. I'd run back and forth. I remember I like would ask questions to this one girl, and she thought I was like super dumb and like just downplayed it and thought like treated me like I was a little kid, like I was in like 3rd grade. I was in 5th grade, and that really wasn't okay to me. And I felt down on myself. I felt worse on myself. And yeah, I can't how many times in my life I've been a third wheel as a kid, or just in general. But those years of my life were like the most obvious to me now that I was. And like I'm a culprit too, but like also I've done it to people. Like I feel really bad. So that's where I get like, oh, I feel like I should include everybody, because I know that when I'm not, I feel really down on myself, and I like overthink and I do whatever. In 5th grade, it all shattered. Those 2 friends and a couple more people took me to one of their like, there was like a rocket ship. You know where this is. And like the little kids like playground. And during second recess, and they told me they did not want to be friends with me anymore. They actually made me sit on one of these like benches, or well, I'll just say bench, and like sat there while they like walked over to like the like rocket ship and like got inside and like conversed a little bit, and then like got out, and like I like walked over them on my own will and was like, you know, what's going on? And they told me that they didn't want to be friends with me anymore. I remember crying, and this teacher like came up to us and was like, what's wrong? And it was like it was like my favorite like teacher at the time, and she said some things to the girls, and like it was like the bell rang, and yeah, I did green team, so like we went around and got all the different bins. I was the art room with 2 other people. It was fun. I'll tell you later. So I remember missing that day and like coming and like crying, and everybody's like really worried, like what's wrong? I didn't want to talk about it. I legit did not. I was like, you know, it's fine. As I'm like bawling, and everybody's like, no, it's not, but whatever. That's legit another day I won't forget either. I mostly hung out with that teacher for the rest of the year. And it sounds sad, but like I job shouted her a year ago. Yeah. Last year, and it was so fun. Like she noticed stuff about me that like I didn't realize in 5th grade. Like I am such an indecisive person, and in 5th grade I didn't know that, but she knows that about me. Like I like literally walked in and she was like, you can sit here. And I was like, just tell me where to sit. She's like, no, you can sit here. It's your choice. I was like, dude, just tell me where to sit. She and I kept saying it to her. I was like, just choose, please, just choose. She's like, fine. Like, not really, but she was like, okay, like, so right here, it's fine. It's like, okay, thank you. She's like, I remember that about you. It's like, oh, I didn't realize that, but I'll think back. Thank you. Stored in my memory, I'm a super indecisive person today, and it shows, obviously. Middle school was definitely scary. I walked into 6th grade with having no friends. And that girl from the Gifted and Talented program came back, so I kind of sat with them for a couple weeks. And then, I don't know, it just felt like it wasn't the group for me. Like, everybody was, like, talking, like, amongst, like, a group of 2, and I just kind of felt left out, so I didn't, like, moved on. Yeah, and then I hung out with my cousin's friends, which I love my cousins, so it's great. And they were all super nice. But my core friends, not you, you are though. Most of my friends that I met, I found when I played a sport. My parents forced me into tennis, and most of my core friends today are actually from that. I remember in school, I didn't know many people, obviously, and I thought everyone older than me would appear out of nowhere and pick on me and bully me and be really rude to me. And I was just so self-conscious. I remember, like my motivation was, like, keep your head down, just walk, just go. Like, it doesn't matter, just go. Yeah, again, my parents forced me into a sport, and I loved it. In 8th grade, I was really comfortable. 7th grade was kind of like a in-between year. Like, I knew what I was doing. I wasn't, like, new, but also, like, I wasn't, like, top of the school either, so it was, like, weird. It was fun. Like, I met some good friends. I found my friend group. That was it. Yeah, so in 8th grade, I was comfortable. I knew how I was, I knew the school, and I was really comfortable with it. And I was in, like, programs, or, like, a program, and then, like, kind of like a club. And then I was still doing tennis, and everything was great. I knew the school, I knew the teachers, I knew where everything was. I felt really confident that year, which is good for me. Church, I think, was the year that my faith became real. Around summer of 7th grade, I started to do more than sing during worship. I, like, lifted my hands during songs and, like, actually, like the words, like, sunk in and, like, I actually, like, meant it.
Yeah.
Which was really a cool experience but also, like, do that on your own time. Like, I'm not here to, like, tell you, like, I'll do this. But, like, it was a really transforming experience for me, I guess. I made friends in the youth group like you, and I still have some, like, younger friends that aren't with us anymore in the group, but they will be next year and next 2 years. Yeah, and I am so happy that I don't think if I could go back, I wouldn't really change a thing. Not the Popper Girls, because that made me who I was today. None of it. Yeah, I'm happy that I endured scary parts of something new. This year, I am as close to God as I ever have been. I started a devotional the beginning of the year, actually on January 2. I can put it in the bio. It's called The Bible with Nicky and Pippa Gumbel, the YouVersion one. It can be found in the YouVersion Bible app. It has forced me to open my Bible more, and last winter I made a rule that when I read the bus on the way home in the afternoon, that I, like, only Christian music.
Yeah.
Legit, like, I have a hype up playlist that's the extent of it, and I just play it, and I, like, throw songs in my queue, and I just go, and it's awesome, and I love it. That gets me going for, like, homework and stuff, and I'll generally do my devotional on the bus on the way home from school, which is nice because I'm like Christian music. Like, yeah, that makes sense to me, I guess. And there are definitely a lot more things I can do to go closer to Jesus, but these are my first 3 steps, and I hope that this podcast is another way that I can just, go. Yeah, your turn.
All right. I grew up at the same church I was born and raised at. I was saved when I was about 7 or 8 years old, I think. I was refusing to go to the kids ministry.
Me too. So
I was sitting in church with my dad, and during, like, the altar call, I raised my hand. I'm not sure if I knew what was happening. I was told to raise my hand, so I did.
Honestly, that is so real. Like, you told me to do it. The pastor was like, raise your hand.
Yep. I was really, I don't know. I think I did understand what I was doing. I don't know.
Part of peer pressure and the pastor pressure just came into you and was like, raise your hand.
I think I knew what was happening. I was excited. I made my dad take me to, like, the place, and we got, like, a packet with, like, a book and whatever.
Oh, yeah.
And then, so, I don't know. Every few months, I would kind of try to start reading my Bible, and it didn't really go well.
At 7 or 8 years old?
Yeah. It only lasted, like, a few days.
You were ambitious as a kid, man. I tried a couple summers ago and never really got into it.
Yeah. I don't know. It just never stuck. I got baptized. And it just was kind of a vicious cycle. I would just, live my life. Every once in a while I try. In 6th grade, I started going to youth group, and we went to a fall camp, which only happened once, and, it's kind of sad. They never brought fall camp back.
I regret not going to camp 6th grade or 7th grade year.
Yeah.
The beginning of 8th grade, actually.
So during that camp, they kind of went back and talked about, like, the basics of Christianity, how to read the Bible, praying time, like, what it's all about. And that camp really helped me. I ended up started reading, I think it was Proverbs during camp, because it had, I think, 30 or 31 chapters in it. So I read a chapter a day. And then from there, it kind of, like, clicked for me. And I haven't stopped since. I've found, like, different routines and all of that. But, like, the time has changed. Like, what I do every day has changed, but I haven't gone back to, like, I've been doing stuff.
You haven't fell back into, like, your old sinly ways.
Yeah, I haven't stopped. I haven't stopped.
I am a culprit of that.
Okay.
Sorry, keep going.
So at the end of 6th grade was great. I had my best friend from elementary school, and we hung out. Everything was great. That was, everything was great. We'll just go with that. So at the end of 6th grade, we did kind of like a World War II unit. And I read World War II books. Like, that's what I read. That was my genre. But it had never sunk into me before, the gravity of, like, what was happening. Yeah. Like, it never bothered me for some reason. I was like, oh, yeah, this is serious. But I didn't understand. I didn't understand how bad.
You didn't understand the extent of it.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I know this happened, but, it wasn't, like, it didn't click. Like, it wasn't like, whoa, okay, so.
Yes.
Yeah. And so, 6th grade too. If I read that at 6th grade, I'd cry. Like, if I read, like, I don't know, like graphic books like that, like,
Well, that's what I read. It just hadn't sunk in yet.
I know.
So, after, that unit was the end of the year, I don't know, it sunk in, and I was laying in bed at night. Sorry, I'm getting distracted,
carpooling into the parking lot.
So So my whole life, I was trying I had issues with, like, what ifs when I was trying to fall asleep from other issues that I'd had in the past. So I'd already gone, I'd already gotten over that and whatever. I was great for a while. After that, it kind of came back and worse than ever.
I think that's what girls do at night. If, like, I don't know, because, like, I remember, like, I just sit and my mind won't stop. Like, I'll think of, like, conversations from, like, a week ago or something, or, like, the early day, or, like, I will, like, legit, like, at night, like, plan out conversations that I'll have. It's bad. I do this a lot, obviously. Okay, sorry. I interrupted. Keep going.
I would just lay there at night. I was scared. Like, the curtain had to cover the window perfectly. I couldn't see out, because otherwise I would be scared that I would like open my eyes and someone would be staring at me through the window, which honestly, I still have that fear sometimes, but it doesn't take me over like it used to. At that time.
Sorry, can I talk? I had the opposite of that. I know you're getting mad at me. But I had the opposite of that as a kid. I literally thought somebody would come into my room at night and murder me. So there had to be light in, like, the hallway, and, like, the door had to be open.
Oh, there was light. It just wasn't from the window.
Not like all the way. But I remember when we did our remodel, like, they took, like, the blinds off my window, and there was, like, our neighbors, like barn light, like, showed or whatever, and I lost my tooth that night, and that was the point where, like, I still believed in the tooth fairy, and I thought the tooth fairy was that light, and just sat there the whole night, like, waiting for me to, like, fall. Like, I don't think I slept that night.
I couldn't have the window uncovered. I couldn't close my door because I needed, like, if there was somebody out there, I needed to know that they were there. I couldn't, like, I was scared that there would be someone, like, lurking outside the door, and I couldn't, like, get up either. I was scared that somebody would be under my bed or right around the corner waiting to grab me. So, I couldn't fall asleep because every single noise was, like, awful. Like, I literally thought every single noise was somebody breaking into the house.
I've always grown up with like a noise thing in my room, so it's fine. I'll stop interrupting. Keep going.
So I couldn't get out of my bed because I was scared somebody would like attack me, and I couldn't do anything. I couldn't fall asleep because I was so scared. I couldn't get up. I couldn't go to the bathroom. And I was also at that time completely unrelatedly scared of, like, I couldn't fall asleep if I needed to use the bathroom because I was scared that I was going to pee my pants. So, if I needed to go to the bathroom, I was just done. So I was literally just like a lost cause. I wasn't sleeping either way. I would literally lay there in my bed crying every night because I didn't want to go wake up my parents. I couldn't get out of my bed. I couldn't fall asleep. And if I did fall asleep, then I'd have a nightmare and wake up and start the whole cycle again. So, that was a really rough time of my life, and my parents had no idea it was happening because obviously I couldn't go tell them. Like, I physically couldn't go tell them. So the only way that I could get through this was by praying. I would literally lay in my bed, say, God, protect me. I know that you will not let anything happen to me unless this is your will for me. And I had some Bible verses on my wall. I don't know exactly what they were, but I had some Bible verses on my wall that helped me really, a lot. So I would sit there repeating those Bible verses and saying, God, I know you've got me. Whatever your plan is for me, I know I will either get through this night or I won't, and the worst thing that will happen is that I die and I go to heaven for you, to be with you. So that was I got through it with that, and it actually really helped and calmed me down. Not all the way, but it did help. And I also, another thing that I did was I imagined that there was angels surrounding my house and that nothing could get through those angels unless God wanted it to get through those angels. So the angels were protecting me. And that also, the vision of having the angels surrounding the house also helped me a lot. Eventually, I broke down and I told my parents. I told my parents what was going on. I asked my youth group leaders at the time to pray for me. And after that, it was immediately better. I think it was pretty much instantly better, and I still have this fear sometimes, but it doesn't overcome me, and I can still fall asleep easily, and I can I don't have to be worried about sleeping over at someone else's house because I would be too scared. So that happened, and then I lived my life for the next couple months, and then in 7th grade found out that I didn't have any classes with my best friend, and honestly I didn't really care. I thought it would be fine. I thought it would be fine. So, we started our school days. I started school, and, I knew what it was like to not have friends before. Because in elementary school, I also did struggle with having friendships and would often sit alone, which, again, is my own fault because I refused to be a child and, just go play.
I was way too childish, so.
Yes. So this friend I'd been friends with since the 2nd day of kindergarten, and obviously, looking back, she was not the best friend. Nope. She did leave me at recess for the entirety of elementary school, just fend for myself. And again, this was my own fault because I refused to go do what she wanted to do.
Yep, I have that a lot.
So in 6th grade, I mentioned this already. We were really close, the closest we'd ever been. So, we started 7th grade. She couldn't find different friends. We started growing apart from each other. We were developing new priorities. I was growing in my relationship with God. She was not. She believed in God, but it wasn't anything part of her life at all. So she started growing apart from me because I think she realized that, we were going on different paths, and she also had different friends, different priorities. And I held on. I held on really hard, and it hurt me really bad for all of 7th grade. I just followed her around and became that third wheel. for all of 7th grade. And sometimes we would have good days. Sometimes I would be like, hey, she does want me. A lot of the time, I just felt like I was following her around and putting in a lot of effort for the friendship that I wasn't receiving in return. And, this really hurt me, and this still affects my relationships today. So I, have lots of, I don't regret, but it does affect me. It does affect me every day. How some of the things some of the red flags from that relationships. I'm constantly over analyzing.
And you're growing from that too. Like you're coming back.
Yeah. So I cried myself to sleep every night. I couldn't go in 4th hour after lunch.
What was your 4th hour?
ELA.
The favorite class ever.
I literally, the only thing that kept me from crying in that class when she didn't come to sit with me was praying. Like, I literally sat there biting my lip, probably pinching myself too. God, help me get through this. I'm about to cry in front of this entire class of 7th graders.
That you've known for the past, 2 years?
Yeah. So, it was really bad, and I had other friendships in my life at that time. I had other good friendships. I just refused to acknowledge them because I was so stuck on this friendship. So, it took me to the beginning of 8th grade year. After 7th grade year, I was like, I'm done with this. And I ignored her for the rest of summer. At the end of summer, she texted me and asked me what my schedule was, and it turned out we had 3 classes together in 8th grade. Yeah. I also asked her, I was like, so where are we with our friendship? Because you're my best friend, and we don't hang out together, and honestly, this is causing me, a lot of hurt, and you don't realize this, but this is, not good for me at all. And she was like, oh yeah, I'm sorry, we'll try, because she's honestly reminds me a lot of you in a lot of ways, which makes life difficult. And
in a bad way?
No, not in a bad way. You just have the same qualities sometimes. And so I have to, again with the hurt.
My head around that.
So I followed her around again for the first couple weeks of 8th grade, and then I was like, what am I doing? There was one day that she was like, hey, can you, hang out with this friend instead so that I can walk with my friends instead? I was like, oh, okay, yeah. And then I don't think I ever went back. Since then, I've been focusing on, building friendships with other people. And I've changed a lot from that friendship and all of that year of hurt because, there's a lot of things in my life that I realized during that year about myself, about my relationship with God, because I was seriously leaning on him throughout.
That's a good thing.
That whole time. And
I'm starting to trust him, which is good. So.
So, I can really, wow. I have a really great appreciation for my friends after this because I can acknowledge that I can acknowledge and realize when my friends do something that is great for me. And I honestly I don't know. I just think that isn't something that I would have done if I hadn't experienced that. And there's lots of other things. I realize what hurts me after that situation. And also that was having a good best friend that I had fulfilled all the things for a long time. I didn't think that was possible without have a friendship that fulfilled all of the things that I needed in a friend or thought I needed in a friend. And I was like, do I have to wait until I meet my husband to fulfill all of these needs? 'Cause
honestly true. Very true.
So, God has answered that prayer. Between my 2 best friends, all of everything that I like wrote down on a list that I needed in a best friend or wanted in a best friend have been met, which is honestly crazy to me because it was a tall order. So Jesus and like uses your experience to like teach and grow you. If you know, when you struggle, it's for a purpose, and that's what we are kind of trying to show.
Go back to that one teaching in youth group. It was that like gather this year, and they talked about like how like God takes your like sometimes your like toxic relationships or something in your life that isn't good and just prunes it. It sounds really weird, but like pruning like a bush, like, you know, like you like shape it to the way that you want it.
Yeah.
And that's what God's doing in your life. So like with your friend, with your former best friend, and like that was kind of, that really hurt you.
Yeah.
And I can't fully relate to that, but that's where God was like, okay, time to cut her out of your life.
Yeah.
And time to start putting more of me in it.
I wouldn't have found any of my close friends or even the deep relationship that I have with God without this relationship.
Yeah. Like for me, I guess it all started in 4th grade when my friend decided to do this program. It like there wasn't anything I could do about it. It was her choice, and I respected that. Yeah, and I don't know, I just never went back. And for you, it's like that was like you were like trying to hold on, but for me, I really didn't have a choice. Like I probably could have, but I was in 3rd grade. I didn't have a phone, you guys. I could not connect. I probably could have, but like I didn't, and it just grew closer. We grew farther apart. I don't know. What I'm trying to say is like God put me in that way, and then once I was with the popular girls, he trimmed that out in like a really, really, really hurtful way. But that was looking back, like pruning my life. So like I was more dependent on him, and I guess like I made that switch that summer.
Yes. He puts hurtful things in our life to grow us, to be a better person. Without those hurtful things, we will not be the way who we are today.
No.
Which is what makes up our testimony.
Yeah, basics.
Okay.
Amen.
So, thank you so much for listening to our dump of all our hurts today. If you enjoy our podcast, please follow us. Your support means a lot to us.
Also, we have linked an email in the description. If you want to share with us your testimony or any way that you can like relate or
anything,
honestly, a question, a recommendation, prayer request, for if God is pruning something in your life and you just don't see it yet. Topic idea, anything. Like if you just want to be like friends with us too, like
of course,
we're legit open to anything. Just use that email in the bio. We'll do our best to read them and answer every email we receive. We're here for you. We love you guys. And we'll see you next time.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye.